what time it is. It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Y'all, what is going on with love and hip hop right now? It is crazy. Skye Squad, we are back in the building, and we're going to break it all down in this video. All right. So we're talking about season 13, episode 6. It's called Remember the Acrimony. So we got a couple of other little news items to sprinkle up in here. So, go ahead and get your tea, get your coffee or whatever and settle in because we got quite a discussion today. All right. And side note, are you following the channel? A lot of people watch YouTube videos, but don't necessarily subscribe because YouTube may just keep suggesting the videos, but your subscription does help. So please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Also, y'all, please also subscribe to my new YouTube channel. It's Go Digital with Richie. So you can get all the tea on how to start and grow your YouTube channel utilizing digital products right from the beginning. You can monetize your channel as soon as you start. All right, with that being said, let's dive on in. British Williams is free. She is a free woman, okay? She has been released from the prison after being sentenced to 4 years in prison. She did 1 year and 8 months, okay, for being involved in several schemes. This is according to our friends over at Reality Entertainment TV, including the tax fraud, the bank fraud, the insurance fraud, and the pandemic-related scams, resulting in a total of $564,000 in losses. All right. Now, welcome home. There were some posts on social media with her and, I guess greeting her daughter. I just thought it more appropriate for what we do over here to just simply show you guys her picture, let you know she is out and about. And if you are a British Williams fan, go show her some love. She's posting on her Instagram stories, people who have shared the great news about her. So, but in terms of basketball wives, since that is our primary interest here, I mean, obviously we're happy that she's able to be reunited with her family. I'm sure she's learned quite a few lessons in this whole situation, hopefully. And so, do you guys want to see her back on Basketball Wives? I see some people in the comments of some of the other social media sites, talking about how they would love to see her on maybe like a Trap Queens show where she kind of details what got her into this situation in the beginning. I would rather see her doing something like that, like maybe doing voiceover work for, something like what we've heard or seen with Remy Ma. I don't really know that I am that interested in her story as it pertains to Basketball Wives. I just don't know that we have anything there for me as a viewer. But listen, I'm not one to try to stop anybody's back. So if they do welcome her back into the fold, I hope that she's able to kind of detail what her journey was, because I do think that it could be maybe helpful for some other people, right? So we kind of take the good and we'll take what we can get, okay? I'm a Basketball Wives fan, so whatever is going to make the show great, obviously I'm here for it, all right? So that's that with British. Let's talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, okay? Because a lot happened last night. There's a lot in the news going on with Rasheeda and Kirk right now, with Yandy and Mendeecees. So we got to break it all down. So first things first, I'm going to read you guys the description. The episode is called Remember the Acrimony. And it says, Sierra and Zay grieve an unexpected loss. Erica Banks hopes her papa won't preach when he finds out about her soon-to-be holy matrimony. And new rumors about the Harrises hit the blogs. And it looks like Mendeecees isn't the only one who has a side to dish about. They are foolish for that recap right there. If I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it an odd like 9.5. I say that because there are some elements that I would have probably improved upon, and I'm going to give you those elements right now. And some of this will be kind of like, we'll get into some of this discussion a little bit later, but I think the first thing for me is just the knowledge that, listen, if you're going to send in a newbie like Ashley to extract information from an OG like Yandy, then you really you really do need to prep her first, right? Because Ashley reminded me of Cynthia Bailey trying to spit out the tea about Mr. Chocolate with Phaedra. You could tell Cynthia was stuttering and stammering her way through that way back in the day. For those of you guys who may not remember, that was seasons upon seasons ago on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I felt like Ashley kind of gave us very similar energy last night when trying to extract the details about Yandy's situation with the man in London, as detailed by her ex-friend and stylist, who came out with all the tea about Yandy and was allegedly, according to Kirk and Rasheeda, reaching out to Rasheeda to try to give her the tea as well. So you have that happening, right? And so I'm kind of like, please don't send Ashley. They need to work with you on spilling the tea. Now you got it in every other aspect on this show, but we got to work with you on questioning these OGs about their shenanigans. That's number one. Okay. Number two, I for me as someone who is I like to consider myself a reality TV connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? Of sorts, a connoisseur. And so when I look at an episode and I look at the structure of it, it was interesting to see the structure of this episode in the sense that Sierra and Zay's scene was kind of tacked on to the end of this episode, and it was so sad. I mean, I don't maybe it was just jarring to me the way that was tacked on to the end like that. Um, Obviously, we learned that she has lost the baby, and she's crying, she's tired, she don't want to go through this type of thing no more. And seems very super supportive, and we see that whole journey and them, getting outside, they're sitting there talking about the train tracks, the railroad tracks. I mean, it was really giving music video. And so I give them snaps for that in the way they set up the scene. Obviously, like I said, it is very sad. I mean, there were some moments that I just found I find Sierra just to be an interesting character. And that is what I feel like she is, a character. I'm sure there's a real person in there, but she portrays herself, in my opinion, like a character, like a caricature of herself. And so I sometimes don't know that she's always knows how to take it off. Um, and it's just little things that I would probably say to me that make me feel that way. And that's just my honest opinion. Obviously, like I said, what they're going through is sad, but still, they just can't take the caricature out of Sierra at this point. There's something about I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just distracted by a lot. She always has a lot going on. Maybe that's it. I don't know. All right. The Erica Banks of it all. Erica Banks travels to Dallas, Texas, her hometown, to visit her mom and her dad and her family because she has a show there. She's taken her new girlfriend, Dro, who, in my opinion, just seemed to appear out of nowhere. But clearly, Erica has, dated women before. So this is nothing new for her because of the conversations that we see with her parents. I personally found watching Erica with her family a bit refreshing because I felt like Erica can kind of come across as one note. And I just love to see when characters or personalities on the show can show us different colors of their lives. And I feel like this was a good episode for Erica to show us some different aspects outside of just being a twerk queen and just being the BBL queen and just being, all of those other things. I felt like I was finally looking at a real person. And I liked that for her. And that's also why I like this episode. Now, they did amp up the drama in terms of how they were going to try to portray this story of her telling her parents about her relationship with Dro, and Dro asking for her father's permission to have Erica's hand in marriage, which all go extremely well. I mean, Jessica White is there to kind of try to push the narrative a little bit. She's kind of whimsical. They have Jasmine and Erica Racine there, who I thought we would maybe get more from them, but they're kind of just there in the periphery, in the background, supporting Erica. So we don't really get that much of their energy. But I will say that having Jasmine kind of around in these scenes, it kind of does humanize her a bit more, because I think it was really easy to just simply look at her as Kirk's mistress. Because here's the thing. The reality of the situation is Rasheeda was the cast member on the show. Kirk was the husband. And so, it always did come across as though Jasmine was simply the mistress. But I think the more we kind of see of Jasmine and her integration with Kirk's family is that she is, part of the tribe now. I think is she living on the compound? I don't know. I really don't know. But all I can say is she's a part of the tribe. All right. Now, I won't go as far as to say sister wife, because I've seen people say that in the comment section. Listen, however you got to make your family work is however you got to make it work. It takes a village to raise some children. So, there is that. Speaking of children, okay? Typically, y'all know I don't really care to talk about anybody's children on this channel because, number one, I don't have any children except for my doggies. But, and I don't have the capability personally to say what type of parenting someone should be doing with their own children. But the news is the news, and it's processing, and it's happening right now. So we're going to just touch on it lightly because this is, like I said, it's happening. So, we can't really deny it. But what we're finding out right now, and I've kind of been following this story a little bit, didn't quite know if I would really touch on it or not, but here we are. So, because details keep coming out. So Kai Frost, which is Kirk and Rasheeda's son, the headline reads from the Jasmine brand. Shout out to the Jasmine brand. They've been doing a good job for me in terms of keeping me up to date with what's going on with this story. And so they talk about how he may have acted in self-defense in the fatal pow pow of rapper T Hood. All right. And the woman injured in the domestic dispute prior to the incident. All right. So here's what's going on. So Gwinnett County Police are saying their investigation indicates a domestic disturbance occurred at a residence in Snellville, Georgia before the pow pow. A female victim sustained physical injuries during the dispute, and then the perpetrator arrived at the home after the physical altercation and separated himself from the residence before the pow pow occurred. Police also note that the perpetrator remained on the scene at the time of the incident, and both the perpetrator and the witnesses continue to cooperate with the investigators. Now, it was previously reported that T Hood, the person who was the victim in this situation, or whatever you want to call it, was dating Kirk and Rasheeda's daughter. Okay. So there's lots of information that is kind of being shared about this from a ton of different sources. So really, for me, I'm just trying to parse through what is really official at this point. And so as this continues to develop, I will give you guys a bit more details about it. Again, this is typically not one of the things that we would cover on this channel because I typically try to stay more in the realm of the show itself. But as I do suspect that this may be a storyline for next season, not to the degree that it was manufactured, but they can't help probably but weave this into the narrative of Kirk and Rasheeda because it's actually happening right now, right? So just like the Yandy situation was happening, it has now been brought into the show. So let's really get into that, because then we'll break down the Kirk and Rasheeda of it all and the Yandy and Mendeecees of it all, as they all kind of converge on Lil Zane's single release party or whatever the case may be. All right. So let's get into the Harrises. It has come out that Yandy, let me put the alleged badge up here. I mean, because the way she tells it in this, I'm going to just spill it to you guys and sort of give you guys my take on it. But so I think it was a hairstylist, but I could be wrong. So don't at me. But the stylist came out and basically exposed Yandy that she was, I guess maybe she took him to London under the guise of it being for his birthday, but it was allegedly so that she could link up with some guy, right? And there are pictures of the guy that are out there on social media. So if you guys want to go and check, I will, if I have time, I will link some of those pictures in the description of this video. But by and large, the guy, it doesn't look that much different from Mendeecees. So clearly she has a type. Anyway, allegedly. So given that all of this is played out on social media, the producers are asking her, like, girl, have you ever had a physical or emotional affair on Mendeecees? And she does admit to having an emotional affair. Although I would wager to think that if you are going all the way to London to meet up with some man that you are emotionally attracted to, y'all could have stayed. I mean, I don't know. Like, my spidey senses tell me that you are probably doing a little bit more than having an emotional conversation. That's just kind of what I think, but I don't know. You know, I wasn't there, but the stylist was. Anyway, so there's that. And it's come to light, and now she is facing the music. But she goes on to state that if anybody tears down the Harris household, it will be her and Mendeecees. I would tend to agree with that, because at the end of the day, I mean, they're the ones who will make the final decision on, like, will they stay together or not. And right now it's looking like Mendeecees is gonna stick beside her, but Mendeecees values respect more than love, so they're not in agreement on that. But whatever. Mendeecees feels like emotional cheating is worse than the physical cheating, and I mean, for me, I don't know. To be quite honest with you, I don't know. What I will say is, I mean, I feel like it's probably easy for him to say that because he's done the other. So it would always be the likely thing that the person who is also committed some level of something would lessen the impact of their wrongdoing over the other person's. That just seemed like that's just human nature. So I don't really buy into his logic for that. But I mean, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I mean, I think it also is a very different situation, you know, when a woman is cheating and when a man is cheating. But I just don't know. What it sounds like is, and I'm listening to their discussion, is that Yandy and Mendeecees have maybe been on the rocks for some time, and really their relationship, I think that they've been putting on a strong unit like stance for the sake of posterity on the show. I think that they have probably had their things that they've wanted to do on the side, and they've done them. And they may be doing these things to spite each other. They may be doing these things despite each other. Um, and there you have it. And I just think that at this point, I don't know that Yandy and Mendeecees are the most transparent people on this show. But I do think that you have a right to share what you want to share. But I also think that if you are choosing to be on this show, then you probably would want to have all of your actions and your words align. I will say that. And I also think that Yandy and Mendeecees are probably guilty of expecting a certain level of respect from Rasheeda and Kirk that they are not getting, which is probably the most hurtful thing for them, right? Because they have now been brought into drama as a result of some of the things that Erica Racine and Jasmine have alleged. But not only that, there are also things that Kirk and Yandy have done that have involved other people, and those other people have definitely come forward as well. So you've got several issues that they've got to deal with, and you can't hold Rasheeda and Kirk responsible for everything that is going wrong right now. Conversely, okay, the thing that bothers me the most about Rasheeda and Kirk in this situation is that y'all have been through this before on the show. Y'all have gone through this quite a bit. So it is very interesting to watch as they sort of take a bit more of a moral high ground in this situation, as if they've never had any of these things occur on the show, right? And that's the thing that just gets me, that just kind of grinds my biscuits a little bit about them. So even when at the event, you see Jock, and who his brother, we learn, is out on bond. Is it bond? I think that's what it is at this point in time. Um, Scrappy and Jock are in their messy bag as they tell Kirk and Rasheeda everything that Mendeecees was saying about, Kirk talking about his penis. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know what they don't know who they messing with. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want you to stay in your bag. You know what I'm saying? So, Rasheeda is like, oh, head to the no, no, no. I don't want that man while she running around up in London with the ding ding in her mouth, and he's sitting at home like a little house husband. I was like, they're right over there, don't you? They right over across the way. Rasheeda and Kirk, Yandy and Mendeecees are sitting right over there. Go over there and settle it, because in my opinion, for me, with the things that were stated, if you felt like, okay, if they come and tell you, which I don't know if they put a little, do y'all feel like they put a little stank on it? They could have, I don't know. But if they come and tell you and Kirk that this man said he could have you if he wanted to, your first thing should have been running up right over there. Did you say this or did you not? Okay, because Scrappy Doo and Scooby told me that you did. Kirk, you should have been right over there with her, right up in Mendeecees' face, asking, did you say this about my wife? Do you really think that you could have her, or does she want you? Period. And Yandy, what you got to say? If y'all were really truly about it, y'all would have run right over there at that point in time and just asked. Do I ever think that any type of altercation would have broke out between either one of these? No, because I don't think Rasheeda is trying to be about it like that. I don't think Yandy tried to be about it like that. I don't think Kirk really trying to be about it like that. But Mendeecees to me is a little bit of a wild card because, well, I mean, I don't know what he went through when he was locked up, but I will wager to say that he made it out. So he might have learned a thing or two in there or before. So I don't know. And I don't know what Kirk know how to do. But all I know is I feel like Mendeecees is the wild card here. I just do. And I don't know why. My spidey senses just tell me that. But my thought is, if y'all everybody talking so much smack, then just why don't y'all say it in each other's face? That's the thing that bothers me about this episode and about loving hip hop in general, is because they would have been forced to face each other at a reunion, but now they don't ever have to face each other. They can all just keep talking around each other. And I'm like, how long are they gonna let y'all keep talking around each other like this? Why don't y'all just settle it by sitting down face to face, or with the people in the middle that that said whatever they said, right? Okay, so y'all need Erica Banks in the room, because Erica Banks, you the one who heard Rasheeda say what she said way back last season or two. Get Scrappy and Scooby in the room. Y'all the one who were there when Mendeecees said that Kirk is very interested in penis. So all y'all be in the room together with Kirk and Rasheeda and Yandy and Mendeecees, and y'all can settle it then. Period. Rasheeda got bags. Like, to me, what are we doing? Why are we wasting time going around this mulberry bush when everybody at the same event? No, y'all got to talk. We're not going to keep circling and draining Kirk and Rasheeda back at the house drinking a big old bottle of wine. running Yandy and Mendeecees down. And I get it. Y'all mad too. But if you that mad, say something. Say something to their face. Like, they right here. We're not gonna do it at this event. Okay, when? When y'all gonna do it? Because every time y'all at an event together, that's the only time y'all together. So this is a fine time to do it. Be like Ashley. Not like Ashley when she was asking Yandy about what was really going on. And Yandy's response was, she didn't really give Ashley all that much, but she gave enough of her truth to satisfy Ashley a little bit. Ashley was having a better time interrogating Zane's mama about why she treat her so much differently than Zane's other baby mama. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. We do learn that Ashley, and y'all, some people really took offense when I said what I said about Ashley doing whatever she want to do to her body, because it is her choice and it is her prerogative to do what she want to do. Now, does the girl need surgery? Maybe not. Probably not. Who actually needs it, really? When they do it. But at the end of the day, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit up here on this internet and tell somebody what they should and should not do with their body, because I wouldn't do it in real life. If you want to go and get a surgery, if you got the coin, do whatever you want to do. It ain't my business, okay? Personally. But since you're putting it on the show and we're talking about it, I don't think that anybody else in your life has the right to tell you, to dictate to you what you can and you can't do. I don't. Now, if you differ on that, then that's fine. You differ on it, right? Do I think that as in a relationship, in a marriage, they should tell each other what's going on? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna let you can let them know. But if you had decided that that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. What he got to do with it? That's your decision. Okay? You're an adult. That's how I feel. And if you feel differently, I respect it. I totally respect that. But what she did do was she said she compromised and she only got a couple of fillers in her face. I really couldn't tell that much of a difference, but that's usually the case with, hopefully good work, is that you just look, refreshed. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, like, pow, okay, hey, she just woke up. She woke up like this. So that's all she got. And the people tell her, don't get no more, this, that, and the third. Again, I'm just not a big fan of saying what people should or shouldn't do. I would, listen, if you're asking for my opinion though, aesthetically, do you want to end up looking like that photo that was going around of Larsa? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Okay. Do you want to be the tight face queen of the tight face committee? Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. I don't know. All I know is she looks great. End of story. I think we could leave it at that. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this episode of Love and Hip Hop. Again, I thought it was good. I gave you my thoughts on some tweaks and improvements that could have been made throughout the episode that I think would have upped the ante just a little bit. And I do think if I was production, I would have encouraged the foursome to have a sit down ponderosa and really hash things out and really get to the bottom of what's what. Because every time they have a conversation, I feel like it'd be passive aggressive because nobody really wants to really get into it and nobody wants to be perceived as aggressive because these are grown folks, right? Rasheeda and Kirk and Yandy and Mendeecees, while they might be engaged in some craziness, I think that they are all at a certain level where they're not trying to fight each other. But I do think if you're going to have all this smoke for each other, you should be able to say, I'm going to confront you and meet you where you are. Because if you're talking this type of craziness, then we about to settle it once and for all. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.